Should you come out to your parents, whether that be as an atheist, if you want to tell them you're gay, if you're coming out as trans? This video might be some helpful advice. I don't know. I have personal experience in telling my family that I'm an atheist, so I'm gonna focus on that in this video, but I do think the advice that I give can apply to other things as well. My goal in this is to help people that are struggling with trying to decide what the best thing to do is. Also, if you want to actually sit down and watch this video with your parent, that might be helpful. And I actually think before watching this video with your parent, you should watch the one that I did with my dad. It's just a really loving video where the two of us sit down together and talk about our relationship and how it's been affected by me being an atheist and him still being very Christian. So my initial reason for wanting to make this video is because I recently went to Playlist Live in Orlando, which is a YouTube convention where there are panels and meetups, and it's just a really great opportunity for people to meet the YouTubers that they watch online. And I had a lot more time to really have conversations with people and get to know them. And I love doing this because it reminds me why I like making YouTube videos, having these face-to-face real conversations with people and seeing how, you know, even in the smallest way, my videos have been able to help them. Makes me feel like this is worth doing. But I had so many people ask me about telling their family about not being religious that I felt it was worth me making a video addressing this because I think it's a question a lot of people have. I know I did. In this video, I'm gonna show you examples of people coming out and the reactions that they've gotten. I'm going to show you some bad advice I think that there is online because there's actually quite a bit of bad advice. And then I wanna also give you my personal story. So that's what this video is gonna be. I hope that in some way it's able to help you. But before I really get into all of that, I wanna let you know that like Playlist Live, there are gonna be many opportunities for people to meet me and hang out in person and have these real conversations that really mean so much to me and hopefully to the people I'm having them with. So I am potentially going to go on a tour this summer, and even if I don't, I know I'm traveling a lot, and if I'm, for example, I'm going to Hawaii in a week, if I have people that live in Hawaii that wanna meet me in person and hang out, I would love to be able to do that. So there's a link at the top of the description below where you can fill out your email address and your closest major city so that if I happen to be near you, I can let you know and we can hang out in person. So please click that link, fill it out, and let me know where you are. Also, that will help me decide where I want to go on tour because I'm going to go where the most demand is. So please check that out. I would love to see you and hug all of you in person. So I kind of want to start talking about this. This is a very heavy topic, so it's kind of difficult to figure out what angle to approach it from. So I'm just gonna start with me. I grew up very religious. I was raised Catholic, went to Catholic school from kindergarten through my senior year in high school, and after that I got even more crazy religious. I was like evangelical, Bible thumping all day. Religion was so heavily integrated into my family and into my life that even at a young age I had a journal, and this was so young where I don't even remember. I was like really little. I was still mixing my B's and D's up. To Bay, we stood in front of the altar. I was in the last row. The priest was asking us to turn away from the devil and turn to God. I said, I do. It tricked me, and I said, amen. I will get my reconciliation books today. I feel great. Great! There are photos of me in a Christmas play. I look really unhappy to be there, but I was the angel, which is fitting because I'm such an angel. It was something that I didn't really question until I was much older. You know, in high school I got in trouble a couple times in religion class for questioning why unbaptized children would go to hell. I remember almost getting kicked out of class once for that. But I didn't really start to question it until I was about ready to graduate college. It's kind of embarrassing to admit, especially since I meet so many really amazing young people at these conventions, and they're like just starting off high school and they're like, I'm an atheist, and I'm like, wow, you're so far ahead of me. And I feel proud but also sad because they're struggling with something that I didn't, which is wanting to be yourself and be open about who you are in a household that might not accept you in a time where you're still dependent on your parents. So that's a really big thing I want to focus on, is age. I was fortunate enough to go through this revelation in my life whenever I was in, you know, my 20s, and I was on my own and independent. I didn't have to worry about whether or not my parents would kick me out of the house or take away like college funds, which I didn't have anyway, but I know that a lot of people are in that position, you know, and if you're dependent on your parents and you think that that could happen to you and that this will somehow be detrimental to your future, I would say wait. And I hate saying that because I'm such an advocate of telling people to be themselves and be open and honest. But if you think that this could hurt your future, I think it's best to wait until you're independent and out of the house on your own. But I will say this, some of the people that I have talked to are at a breaking point, and that is totally normal. If you're at the point in your life where you just cannot keep this information to yourself and it's really affecting your mental health, then you do what you have to do. You know yourself best. I can't pretend to know what's in your head or what you're going through in your life. And if you feel like being honest with your family is going to just remove this huge burden from your shoulders and allow you to live your life and be happy, then that is the most important thing. I was also approached by a couple of girls that, you know, they were raised with Islam and their family is really strict, and they were, you know, fearful of what might happen to them if they came out. They were fearful of their physical well-being. So if you're in that position, also please do not do anything that's gonna hurt yourself. Definitely in that case, wait until you're out of the house. But trust me, I know how hard it is to live life and not be open with who you are, because, you know, you might be fearful of, you know, losing your relationship with a family member or a friend or even a romantic partner. And that could happen, but it also could be that they're accepting and loving. So let's not bank on it being horrible, because there is a chance that someone could be like, okay, you know, that's fine. We can just not talk about religion. I still love you. Hugs. But there is a chance that it won't be loving. And in that case, you have to decide whether or not it's worth it to lose that relationship or worth it to be open and be who you are. Personally, I wanted to be open and just be me, because I felt that anything else wouldn't be a real relationship. You know, if someone loves me just because they think that I am Christian and wouldn't love me as an atheist, then I feel like that's, you know, obviously it's a conditional type of love that I don't really want. I want to feel like it's a real, strong love that's not going to be broken by whether or not I pray. But that is just me, and that definitely does not apply to everyone. Gil Diaz tweeted me saying, not exactly cringe, but it's sad to watch. And this is a compilation video of people telling their religious family that they are an atheist. Now, videos like this are interesting to watch, but also I feel like they're really discouraging, because you're not gonna see the videos online of parents that are accepting, which is why I think the video of me and my dad is such a cool thing to have out there. You know, because this stuff gets views, right? A parent crying and telling someone they're gonna go to hell, or a parent yelling at a child saying they're gonna go to hell is clickable. Like, you're gonna wanna click on that, it's gonna get views. So those are the things that you see online, but it can be really discouraging and kind of misleading, because it's gonna lead you to believe that every reaction is gonna be super negative, which it really might not be. The first video they show is a woman who breaks down and cries, which that did happen to me. Whenever I told certain members of my family that I was an atheist, they did cry. And I just wanna emphasize that a lot of people are genuinely worried about your well-being. They believe hell is real and they don't want you to go there because they love you. So if they express anger or frustration or they cry, it, as strange as that sounds, might be a form of them showing you love, because they don't want you to go to the eternal hellfire and burn forever, which is kind of nice.
And I will pray that God guides you, and somehow you will change your beliefs and your way of thinking.
This is normal. I don't think that this is a negative response. I actually think she's taking it pretty well, and I would expect that that would happen. If someone is deeply religious and it's something that's really important to them, they might get emotional, and I feel like this is a healthy way of processing things. So don't be surprised if that happens to you if you decide to go through with telling someone.
Fucking break, Michael. Alright, you know what? We need to start going to church every week.
I don't believe in God.
Bullshit. You got yourself confirmed, and you said to the bishop.
This kid's mom is not nice. She's like, okay, well now we need to go to church and I'm taking away all your Christmas presents, which she did not really seem to give a shit about.
Yeah, but a lot can happen. You can think.
Oh, that can happen. All of a sudden you can just quit believing in God? You want to know there's no God? Then you're going to get absolutely nothing. Nothing for Christmas.
Yeah, that lady seems like she'd be fun at parties.
Because that's what Christmas is about, is Jesus Christ.
I can't really tell how old this kid is in this video, but he looks pretty young, and I feel bad for him because I don't know how much longer he's gonna have to be in that house with her, which again is something to be considered when deciding not if you're going to tell people, but when. There are quite a few videos giving advice about coming out, and sometimes they're really not great. The clips from the videos that I'm about to show, I don't want to be insulting to the people who have made these videos. There actually is quite a bit of good advice also in these videos, but I had issues with these particular clips. The first video is 5 reasons to hide your atheism.
If you have to work closely with someone or for someone who's going to hold your atheism against you, don't tell them.
I don't know. I guess maybe, but I feel like this is just a wrong thing to say, because why? Why are you the one that has to hide? If being who you are, whether that be gay, trans, atheist, anything that might offend someone, a different political party affiliation, I don't know, you should not have to hide that about yourself to make someone else happy. I mean, you don't necessarily have to bring it up and talk about that thing, but if someone asks you to pray with them and you politely say, I'm not religious, I think that that's perfectly acceptable.
If you're married and your atheism might create a rift in your relationship, ease your partner into that news. If you're dependent on your spouse's income, you definitely want to think twice.
Oof. Ooh, really don't like that one. I do agree that you should ease, your partner into that information. You don't need to be like, bam, I'm an atheist. Like, you can have a normal, calm conversation that leads up to that. That's fine. But to hold that information back from your spouse, I can't imagine what kind of mental torture that would be to yourself. The person that you're supposed to spend every day of the rest of your life with should know you completely, and to hide something so important from them, I just can't imagine how you could be happy. And also to be manipulated by your partner because they have some kind of financial control over you sounds really toxic. Should I come out as atheist to parents from the atheist experience?
Are there things you've done in your life that you have not told your parents?
Well, of course.
Okay. Do you feel like your life is a lie because you haven't told them?
No, I don't think my life's a lie at all.
Ooh, I really don't like it. No, I have not told my parents everything about my life. I don't know, actually I probably tell my mom way too much. There are some things I probably shouldn't be telling my mom. Sorry, Mom. But just because I don't tell my parents every time I go out and get drunk with my friends or have sex with my boyfriend doesn't mean that I should withhold information that is super integral to who I am as a person. I don't sit at a dinner table with my parents and, hold hands before dinner and them ask me how many sexual partners have you had. But I do sit down at a table with my parents before dinner and pray. The topic of religion is something that comes up a lot because it, like I said before, is a big part of my family. Now, there's a difference between letting someone know where you stand and shoving it in their face. So, like I said, whenever I sit down with my parents for dinner and pray, I'm respectful. I don't need to shout from the rooftops, I'm an atheist, I must excuse myself from this silliness of prayer. No, I sit down and I'm quiet and I let them pray and then I eat my food. There's a time and place to have that conversation. If someone asks you, do you believe in God? You don't need to lie and be like, yeah, I love Jesus. Or if there's a time where religion is being discussed, you can say, I just don't really know if I believe that anymore. There is a respectful way to approach things, and there's a difference between just lying and going with it so that people don't get mad at you and throwing it in their face saying, you know what, religion is stupid and I'm an atheist. There's a healthy middle ground that I think everyone should be able to find pretty easily.
Right, and I guess what I'm saying is there are some things that we sort of hold back for politic reasons.
I don't know. I think there's a time and place. Like I said, if you can do it respectfully, then I think you should. I was reading through some of the comments on these videos and I found a really interesting thread of someone saying that they were about to tell their parents and then they followed up with how that experience went. And they said, I just told them and it went pretty well actually. I mean, you can't really avoid hurting them when they're really into it, but I think they will find a way to accept it. It's a shame that we have to ask ourselves if we really want to go and be fully honest to people as if it was a bad thing to do. They followed up later saying, that same reason held me back for years. Now it's been like 2 or 3 months since I told them. My mom was the one that I thought would get really hurt, and she did at the beginning. Now we talk more openly about it without all those feelings and relationships on the line. Here's what I used and really helped my mom, and I hope it will be useful for you too. I told her if God exists and he judges by the heart, then he knows I'm being totally honest, therefore he knows my intention was the best. Also let them know you are a Christian no longer, not because you hate God or anything like that, but because the same reason they don't believe in other religions, you just see theirs as any other religion. And I wanted to end on that note, because that is a positive example, which they're hard to find those on the internet. That's a positive example of someone being really fearful of telling their family, and then they got to a point where they just couldn't take it anymore, decided to do it, and then had an actual positive response. And what a relief they must feel. And I think the key there is that they went about it in a loving way, in a calm way, where they explained, you know, this is not, I don't resent you for raising me religious. I don't hate God. I don't have any anger there. I just personally find it hard to believe. And hopefully that information would somehow put your parents at ease. So when people ask me, you know, should I tell my parents? It's really hard to give that answer without knowing the complexities of your relationship with your family, because everyone's is so different. Regardless, I hope this video was able to help you in some way. Try to take the pieces of advice and apply it to the situation you're in to decide what's best for you. I know it's hard. I know it is a struggle, and I know it's terrifying, and it makes you feel so alone. But I hope that there is some comfort in knowing that this is something that so many people go through, and you are not alone. And I wish that, like I did at Playlist Live, I wish I could give you a giant hug in person and let you know that, you know, someone is here for you and someone understands you. And there is a whole community of people online, and this is why I started posting videos, because I was in a situation where I didn't feel like I could talk to anyone in my family circle, in my friend circle, or even the person I was in a relationship with at the time. So I turned to the internet, I turned to the community that I found online, and found a lot of comfort in that. So I hope that people can, you know, find that in each other in the comment section here. Like, if you have a situation that you're going through and need advice, or if you have any advice that was helpful to you that you think could benefit others, please have those discussions in the comment section below. Trust me, it has helped me many times before, and you never know how many people you could help by leaving that in the comments. Also, make sure to fill out that form, so if I'm in your area, I can actually give you that hug in person, because that would be awesome. And I also want to send out a big thank you to all of my supporters on Patreon. I constantly get demonetized for talking about issues exactly like this. Atheism is not something that the execs up at YouTube really like having on this platform, but whatever, I'm gonna keep talking about it, and I can continue doing so thanks to your support on Patreon. I love our little community over there. It makes me so happy, and I read all of your messages, and I hope to meet some of you in person. I know a lot of people have been filling out the form, and I look forward to that, and I'm just so thankful to have gotten to have these conversations in person, because like I said, it's meaningful to me, and it just makes me feel like I have some kind of purpose, however small that may be, on the internet. I look forward to reading all of your thoughts in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye!